G2, how did you feel, Emily, about their transition? They beat Rogue and Excel this weekend. Did they make a very seamless transition online, in your opinion?
It felt like I was watching the LPL.
The LPL?
I mean, yeah, like G2, so they've technically had a pretty high kill count. I was looking past some of their games, but especially like the Excel game, I was like, oh, this must be, kind of what G2 are a bit like in scrims. They made the most of the Pantheon pick for Yankos in both of their games this past week. I think that they also, I don't want to say that they've settled on putting caps on mages, because I do think that caps is still likely practicing ADCs and we'll still see him on more traditional attack damage carries going forward, especially in best of 5 like playoff scenarios. But this past week we saw him on mages and the team just looked absolutely insane. They play even looser in online than they did on LAN, which is saying something. His team already played kind of fast and loose. Their attitude in online games just seems to be like even more aggression, which I really appreciate. So it was super fun to watch G2 this past week. I don't know if anyone else had a lot of fun, but I did.
They're always fun to watch in some way, shape, or form, and they will always have the stories around them. Week 9 will be interesting simply because they play teams that have beat them this split, particularly Misfits, that even though it appears that they have made the postseason, they might still be jockeying for position. Mad Lions is only at 10-6, so those 4 to 6 positions are up for grabs, really, as we go to the postseason, Tyler. Do you think that G2 is going to have a rough weekend coming up? Do you think they even care, or are they just already looking at the postseason?
If you're G2 right now, every game you take in stride. I don't think that a team like G2 looks at the regular season and says, we have to go 14-2, or they don't have to get that exact record. For them, I think it's just about being comfortable. If G2 is comfortable and they feel confident, that's all they really need. They're a team of so much raw power and raw skill, and the chemistry is off the charts. All they really need is to feel comfortable. And as Emily said, online in these last 2 games, they looked very, very comfortable. So if you can have a G2 that feels comfortable and confident going into the playoffs, I don't care if they're the 6th seed, 5th seed, 4th seed, 3rd seed, it doesn't matter. G2 will be the heavy favorite to win. They will win the LEC if they're confident.
Well,
I think the big thing with them too, right, is like I think that we've all been sort of impressed by their flexibility around the map, right? And they continue to show it this week with things like Nico and other champs, right, in the top lane. Like, we made the joke earlier in the season that Wonder could literally be nominated for a support award, and like I'm gonna stick with that joke, right? Because it's like part true. The fact that they are so flexible in who can pick up and carry the buck, I'm like super bought in on that part of their team.
And Wonder is the single-handedly nerfed how many characters so far and how many champions so far in League of Legends? At least 3 of them, I'm guessing, you could directly tie to him.
The thing about G2 also is that they're selfless. I think that's a big thing about them, is that all 5 of these players on separate teams could be megastars, and they are in their own right. But a player like Wonder could be on any team in the LEC besides G2 and be that main carry, right? It really shows how much they're willing to give up to be a world champion, that you have a lot of superstars who are fine switching positions, switching roles, switching what their champion pool is. I'm going to play Soraka 7 games in a row and not get any gold, and they're okay with that. So I think with G2, it's a lot about being selfless too, where they're a team that kind of will always take what's less needed to, further their goal to getting to the World Championship.